For almost 20 years, the idea of a cinematic universe has ruled our screens. We all know the formula. By now, heroes, villains, crossovers, and a grand finale that brings everything together. And of course, the Marvel Cinematic Universe stands at the very top, the king of the modern franchise. But what people don't talk about is the cinematic universe that never got a chance, the one that died before it even learned how to walk, the one that, if done right, could have changed everything. This is the story of the Forgotten Universe, a universe made not of superheroes, but of monsters. Not the monsters hiding under your bed, not the ones lurking in your nightmares, but the ones who built Hollywood, the original legends, the ones whose shadows shaped the very idea of fear. Dracula, Frankenstein, the Wolfman, the Invisible Man. Back in the early days of cinema, these monsters weren't villains. They were icons. They were the first true stars of the big screen. People didn't just watch them, they worshipped them. And decades later, Universal Pictures decided the time had come. It was time to bring these legends back. Bigger, stronger, connected. A cinematic universe that could rival Marvel. They called it the Dark Universe. Huge actors were cast. Tom Cruise, Russell Crowe, Johnny Depp, Javier Bardem. Each one lined up to play a legendary monster. It was bold. It was ambitious. It was destiny. Until it wasn't. The very first film released, The Mummy, and instead of resurrecting a new universe, it buried it. Critics attacked. Audiences ignored. And a universe that was supposed to change Hollywood died before the second movie was even written. Everyone blamed Marvel. They said people were tired of universes. They said classic monsters had no future. But here's the twist. Maybe the real reason the Dark Universe failed is because we forgot something important. These monsters were never meant to form a corporate universe. They were meant to tell human stories. Stories about fear, loneliness, power, control. Stories that reflect the darkest corners of our hearts. Dracula wasn't just a vampire. He was a symbol of temptation. Frankenstein's monster wasn't evil. He was a victim of humanity's cruelty. The Wolfman wasn't a beast. He was a prisoner of his own nature. And somewhere in the rush to create a billion-dollar franchise, Hollywood forgot the soul of these characters. That is why the Dark Universe failed. Not because superheroes were too strong. Not because the world had moved on. But because the universe tried to copy something that was never meant to be copied. And here's the irony. The world didn't reject the Dark Universe. The world still loves monsters. Look at Godzilla. Look at Kong. The MonsterVerse is thriving because it tells its own story, not Marvel's. So maybe the Dark Universe wasn't a failure. Maybe it was a lesson, a reminder that every universe doesn't need superheroes. Sometimes it needs monsters, because monsters, more than anything else, remind us what it means to be human.